situation where I can remember learning the greatest lesson about communication was a couple years ago. I had started, I co-hosted a radio talk show. And when me and my co-host, we first started the show, it was like the worst. I mean, we were more focused on getting the script right, hitting the buttons right, and all that. So we totally forgot about the audience. And it was more about the execution. Like, we got to make sure we can do this. We got to make sure we do this right. And it ended up being, I think even out of the handful of people that may have watched the show, we lost those people. And when you go to the general manager and ask him how your show was, and he just takes a deep breath, it's probably not a good show. What lesson did I learn? That's a good question. Probably a lot of lessons, but one of the things that I do remember, the general manager said to me, he said, when you're talking, make sure that your audience feels like you're in the room with them and that it's just you and them. And that way they feel like you're really caring, you're really connecting with them. And I remember doing that, and our show got a lot better, and interviews got a lot better. The people that we were interviewing walked away feeling like it wasn't so mechanical, it was more natural. And then carrying that same skill set when I did talks, whether it was 100 people or a couple thousand people, one of the impact was not only on us, but it actually affected like how we interviewed. And so the interviewers, the people that we interviewed, felt more like it was more of a one-on-one, like we were having more of a conversation. And because they felt that way, then the audience that was listening felt more like it was more personal. And then taking that same skill set, and when I would do talks, whether it was 100 people or a couple thousand people, that I would focus on reaching the people that were in the audience, in the balcony. And I remember always focusing, thinking like, if I hit this person in the balcony that's in a blast back seat, then more than likely the people that are in the first couple of rows are going to feel the same connection. And so I remember people would walk up to me afterwards or after talks and say, man, when you were talking to me, you were really connecting with me. And they just felt like it was just, we were best friends all of a sudden. I just met him or I never met him. And I think that was like the biggest lesson that I learned from the very beginning of being on the radio, to taking that same skill set, whether it was on the radio, off the radio, talking in small groups or large groups. Like, make sure that when you're talking to people that they feel like they're the most important thing in the communication, and that this communication isn't just happening just to check a box, but what is it that this audience needs to hear, and what is it that hopefully will impact their lives or change their lives or fix the situation. And so that's